When I said what I said, I spoke for the people who felt like Gayle was very disrespectful towards Kobe Bryant and his family. Now, with that being said, what I look like wants some harm to come to a 70-year-old woman. I was raised way better than that. I didn't want no harm to come to her and didn't threaten her. All I did was said, check it out. You out of pocket for what you doing and we watching you. Have a little bit more respect for Vanessa, her babies, and Kobe Bryant's legacy. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to do what I got to keep doing. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. We're very nonviolent. We just want to say that first and foremost. We speak from the heart. Some of you who have no heart don't understand that. But anyway, carry on and enjoy your day.
So what you just heard was Snoop Dogg's fake apology for calling Gayle King out of her name and threatening to come and get her after she asked about Kobe Bryant's rape allegations in her interview that she did with ex-WNBA player Lisa Leslie, which was Kobe Bryant's friend. And speaking of Lisa Leslie, I want to reiterate what I said in my last live stream for those who did not hear it. But Black women, beware of the Black men who are using Lisa Leslie to get Black women, specifically dark-skinned Black women, that they wouldn't care about otherwise, to cape for Black men. This is just something that they're doing to bring you back into the fold. And I keep telling you guys that in this community, dark-skinned women are mostly used to be the mules of the community. That's the only reason Black men are praising Lisa right now, because she defended Kobe. That is it. That is all. Any other time, she and women who look like her would not matter to Black men. And I didn't know this, but one of you guys brought this to my attention. Lisa Leslie's husband is a pilot for UPS, which is a very, very good job. I don't recommend that Black women throw away any pilots, okay, if you get approached by one, because they make more money than the average Black man. But Lisa Leslie's net worth is $5 million. So she most certainly married down with her husband. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it's very, very common for hypogamous, dark-skinned women to defend and protect Black men that would never protect them. And be clear, Lisa Leslie's husband is not broke. He's not a broke Dusty, okay? But when you have usually millionaire Black women in the media, the celebrity Black women who make a lot of money and who date down, a lot of times those are some of the same women that have their cape on for men who don't deserve it. And I have no problem with Lisa Leslie, and I know she was Kobe's friend and she didn't think he was a bad person, but now that I know what I know, she does kind of strike me as the typical dark-skinned Black woman that will blindly support Black men no matter what, even if, you know, they aren't her friend, you know. So that is just some food for thought. You guys are free to disagree with me, but I felt like it's necessary to point that out. So back to Snoop. Before this apology that he made, this fake apology, ex-National Security Advisor Susan Rice stepped in on Twitter, and she has some words for Snoop. And she said, "This is despicable. Gayle King is one of the most principled, fair, and tough journalists alive. Snoop, back the F off. You come for Gayle King, you come against an army. You will lose, and it won't be pretty." Now, in general, ladies, you know, I'm a firm believer that women should not threaten men and fight other men. Let other men do that. But let's be real, you guys. Susan is not an everyday Black woman, okay? She has national security connections, and she does have men on call to fight her battles. Like I said in my last live stream, both Gayle and Oprah are insulated. They have people that will protect them. They're very, very well connected. And on one hand, I think that can serve as a lesson to Black women on why networking and life strategy is so important, because your connections can help you, right? You may not ever be on the same level as Gayle or Susan, right? But you get my point. It's good to mingle with people who have more than you, so you can call on them to help you when you need them, right? But on the other hand, I think it's important that Black women understand that Susan has the luxury to do what she did. You aren't Susan Rice, Black women, okay? Just keep that in mind before you go threatening grown men. Now, if it's a direct threat to your life and your life is at risk, that's where self-defense comes into play. You know, if you don't have a man that can defend you immediately. You know, I'm a firm supporter of the Second Amendment and women learning self-defense. But considering who they are, who Gayle and Susan are, you know, shout out to Susan for having Gayle's back. I thought that was an act of true sisterhood, and it would be nice if the collective of Black women had a sisterhood that strong, but we don't. And that's evident with how so many Black women are actually co-signing what Snoop said to Gayle. It's very sickening to see how many Black women are supporting Snoop Dogg of all people. It's disgusting. Even if you don't agree with what Gayle said, even if you don't trust her, it's disgusting, you guys. Okay. And those of you who don't like what I'm saying, you can keep pretending that I'm over here making Gayle Woman of the Year. Gayle is not my favorite person. I don't care about Gayle like that. I'm not caping for her. I'm not agreeing with everything she says and does. I'm not even saying that she's part of the sisterhood. And some of you are intentionally exaggerating my point when it comes to her because you're butthurt, right? So I know what you guys are doing, right? But my point is that Black women look stupid condemning Gayle on behalf of people who would never defend Black women, period. This is not about Gayle being a saint. This is not me saying that I'm a ride for Gayle and I think she, you know, is the perfect representation for Black women. None of that. No, this is about Black women looking silly, condemning her on behalf of Black men and their non-Black female victims. Okay. Alleged victims. All right. Oh, Chrissie, you're bitter. You're too far gone. You're extreme. No, Black women who blindly cape for men and people who did and do nothing for them. Those are the women who are too far gone. Okay. We look dumb and it's embarrassing, ladies. And, you know, I did it. So again, I try to have patience for Black women who are still learning. That's why I'm here making these videos. Okay. Black women should have been silent about this whole thing. And if I'm bitter or extreme for saying that, then so be it. Okay, the man in my life who's helping to pay my bills, he doesn't think I'm bitter. He doesn't think I'm extreme. And that's the only man's opinion who counts. Okay, my channel is about Black female image, promotion, colorism, corrective promotion. It's not about trying to impress broke dusties online and trying to not look bitter to them in their I Hate Chrissie following that sits up there under their comment section and makes up lies about me because they're obsessed and butthurt about my opinion. My objective being here is not to make you feel good, okay? My point still stands, and Black women look silly caping for Kobe Bryant. It does not matter if if Black women weren't financially supporting him when he was alive. This is about what Black women are doing now and how they're making themselves look now and why the optics of us trying to protect his legacy make us look dumb. Okay, and yes, Black men were upset that some Black women said they weren't supporting Kobe before this Gayle situation. So Black men didn't just now insert Black women in this conversation. They've been mad ever since some Black women said they weren't going to mourn Kobe because he was with a non-Black woman. And he also said that he wasn't obligated to support Black people just because they were Black. Kobe said that about Trayvon Martin. So you did have some Black women who said, hey, well, I'm just going to do what Kobe said to do. I'm not going to mourn him just because he's Black. And there are a lot of Black men who are in their feelings about that. So yes, Black men do care about Black women's quote unquote symbolic support. And like I said, I don't think it's the most tasteful or decent thing to come out and say, you know, oh, I'm not going to mourn somebody's death when someone dies. But I also think a lot of Black men are full of crap and their morality only kicks in when Black men are affected. And I do think all of this is fake morality. I really do. Everybody knows, most people know Black women are not celebrating Kobe's death or taking away from how he inspired Black men. We're not doing that. Okay. Just stop making stuff up because you're emotional. But yes, I do feel like Black women should have just stayed silent about everything, you know, and if you want to hear more about why I say we should have stayed silent, go listen to my last two videos. I'm not going to repeat everything I said in those videos. Now, Rickey Smiley, of all people, has jumped in and defended Snoop Dogg, and I want you guys to listen to what he had to say.
You better listen to that song called "Fuck Them Other Niggas" that C Murder made, and I feel, and if anybody fuck with Snoop Doggy Dogg, leave your name on the wall. You better listen to that verse. People love Snoop Dogg out here. Old white women love Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg got a show with Martha Stewart. If you want to bring out all them old white women, or whatever, to be with us Black folks, people love Snoop Dogg. They appreciate everything you've done with Barack Obama, with President Obama's administration. But don't get in that fight and get on the wrong side of the fight. Or whatever. What army? This is what I'm trying to figure out. I went on your Twitter. I love a very respectful comment. But ain't nobody messing with Snoop Dogg. Period. So, I ain't gonna go as far to call Gayle King no names. But I felt what Snoop felt. And I'm thinking about Vanessa Bryant right now. While you worried about Gayle King, I'm worried about Vanessa Bryant. They got to bury half of her family on the 24th, from what I understand. So, I don't know. I think everybody know the words to see murder, fuck them other niggas. You better go listen to it. What army? Ambassador Rice. And I say that with love. I don't think you want that fight.
Now, black women, you really need to pay attention to how on code black men are with each other when it comes to this. You need to pay attention to how on code they are and take notes. And did you guys hear what he said about Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart? He said that old white women love Snoop Dogg. That's what he said, black women. Do you know what that means? Let me break that down to you guys. He was basically saying that Snoop Dogg can use his elite white connections that he made via Martha Stewart to protect him. He is actually threatening Gayle with old white women, you guys. He's threatening Gayle and Susan, two black women, with old white women. He's threatening to get them to attack two black women. But black men want to cry about Gayle cooning on TV for a check from White Zaddy? Where is the logic here, you guys? And see, nobody is catching this, black women. We're just allowing all of this to go right over our heads while you repeat black men like Snoop and these other pro-black hotep men online who are calling Gayle a coon for being, quote unquote, off code. What is on code about threatening two elderly black women with old white women like Martha Stewart? Really? Really? And they're really talking about white men. Let's just be honest, because that's where white women like Martha Stewart get their power from. So they're really talking about using white supremacy against black women. That is what that means. So I translated that for you, okay? But see, we're talking about staying on code and being in a community, right? What Snoop said, what Lil Boosie said, what 50 Cent was saying, right? It's all about being a community and sticking together and not throwing each other under the bus, right? And not cooning with white supremacy, right? These dudes are full of crap, black women. I keep telling you that black men been off code. They've been in bed with white supremacy. And then when black women like Gayle and Oprah criticize them on TV for money, for White Zaddy, they're sellouts, right? And they're bed wenches. Black men been selling out. They've been bed witches. Come on, black women. You can't be so naive that you can't see this blatant hypocrisy. And people want to say, oh, you can't compare what Gayle did to Snoop Dogg. You can't compare that to black male celebrities working with Martha Stewart and white women and sleeping with white women and, promoting non-black women. Why can't I? Why can't I compare those? The argument is that Gayle coons to get money from white supremacist elites. She throws black men under the bus for white supremacy. That's what black men are saying. I'm not here to argue with that. I'm not defending her. I'm not here to argue with that at all. But I don't care enough to condemn her. That's my point here. And my point is, black men do the same thing. They denigrate black women with the system of white supremacy for what? Money, for a check. They place non-black women over black women with the system of white supremacy to get what? A check. They've ruined black women's image, black women's self-esteem, their collective self-esteem, their collective self-worth with the system of white supremacy to what? Get a check, get some money. A lot of black women are running around here feeling bad about themselves because of black men working together with the system of white supremacy to destroy their image and to erase their image. That's cooning. And that's off code. And that's just as bad as what Gayle and Oprah do, even if it's not exactly the same thing. And if you're a group of men that have done that to your women, then yes, you're going to get black women who are off code. You're going to get other people in the community who are off code, who don't care about protecting your legacy and will, quote unquote, throw you under the bus for White Zaddy. It's a chain reaction. You're never on code. So don't expect black women to be. And if you can't understand those comparisons I just gave, then you're not a critically thinking, intelligent person. You're just not. And for those of you who are trying to shame me for basing my support of celebrity black men on who they marry and who they desire, who they promote, who their wealth goes to, I hate to break it to you guys, but we should be focusing on those things as the collective of black women. We should be focused on desirability and who provides, protects, and promotes and desires black women and who doesn't. We should base our support on those things. We're women. We're supposed to focus on those things. And if we're not getting those things at the collective level from black men, then we shouldn't be collectively caping for black men. And we should only be defending the men and supporting the men who individually give us those things. And if, black men can be included in that. That's why I don't understand what's so bad about me saying that. All I'm saying is that black women should not cape for men who don't support them. If you're a black man who supports black women and you protect black women and you provide for black women, then you should not be offended by that. What is the issue? And these are the same men who are offended by it, who are saying that, they don't care about black women's symbolic support. Well, fine, you don't care then. So why are you so upset when I'm saying black women, let's take away our collective symbolic support for men who don't return it? What's the problem? If you individually support black women, then you should not be offended by any of this unless you care about symbolic support. It does not make sense. Okay? And listen, this is not just a black woman thing. You think white women don't love being promoted and desired and don't see the importance of that and don't love it when they see their men, loving up on women who look like them on the red carpet and in these movies and stuff? Of course they do. That's why they don't like equal promotion. Let's just be honest here. That's why, for the most part, they get the most unappealing black women to promote next to them. And I've talked about that in several videos. Anybody who thinks white women and white men don't care about white women being promoted and seen as most desirable and being, provided for, in the public square, on the main stage, in the mainstream, you're delusional. They absolutely care about that kind of thing. And ironically, these are the women that black men say are more feminine than us, right? But then they get mad when we care about what they care about. Black men are the only group of men that don't collectively provide the essentials and the environment for their women to be feminine. And then you complain when they're masculine. You don't create the environment for your women to flourish in their femininity. What do you expect? Most white men are not sitting around crying about white women who want providers and protection and white women who relish in their promotion and desirability. They want the women who look like them to feel desirable and be promoted and be provided for. They want that. That's their reflection. They know that makes them look good. They want that. Black men are the only ones who don't get it and who call their women insecure for wanting the very same thing. It makes no sense. Like I said on my community tab, black men will tell us they're not responsible for giving us this, giving us that. And then they'll call us masculine for saying, okay, well, I don't need you for anything. I'm strong and independent. I don't need black men. Well, what do you expect? We don't need you if you're saying it's not your job to provide what men are supposed to provide. Listen, black men, you either want feminine women or you don't. Like I said, black women, the collective of black men, they can't make up their minds. So you need to get off the hamster wheel because you're going to fly off that mug and you're going to hurt yourself, okay? You'll never win with most black men. They don't know what they want. They double talk. They're hypocritical the same way black women are in a lot of cases. They are too. And you will literally drive yourself crazy trying to be what they want. Focus on the individual men who can create the environment for your femininity to flourish, no matter what race he is. It's time to stop caping for the collective of men that don't do anything for you. Okay? So for all the black women, not all black men, I said the collective. I didn't say all. I know that you guys have individual black men that protect and care for you and that desire you. I do too, sweetie. You're not a special snowflake. I'm talking about the collective, people. And I mean, I don't understand what's so offensive about this. Why do you have to keep reminding me of not all? Unless you want to sit there and blindly cape for the collective of black men when they're not caping for you. And I know a lot of you guys are just embarrassed. You're embarrassed that this is your community and this is how your men act towards you. And I'm embarrassed too. But hey, this is the next thing. Like, we need to withdraw our support. We need to stop caping for the collective. We need to be more discerning. That's just what it is. Now, Rickey Smiley is right about, the streets loving Snoop Dogg, and he does have goons to protect him, and not just goons, but he has the support of black women, which is the most disturbing part of it all. I actually agree with the black men who are saying that black women helped Snoop Dogg become popular, you know, and helped all of these misogynist and colorist rappers and entertainers, you know, advance in their careers. It is partially our fault. I can't even deny that, you know, and this is why I did my video encouraging black women to drop their support for Roddy Ricch early. We need to nip that in the bud early, because that's how it starts, black women. We hype these men up. We listen to their music. We dance to their music. We drool all over them. Then they blow up like Snoop Dogg. And then years down the line, we're mad when they disrespect black women. I literally just told black women in that video how we allow this to happen. So, you know, for the men lying and saying I never hold black women accountable, stop making stuff up because you're in your feels about what I said about, you know, black women needing to be silent about Kobe. Like, you know, a lot of you guys, you get so deep in your feelings, you get so over emotional, you just start making up stuff I never said. It's getting ridiculous at this point. But I do agree, you know, black women do have to take some responsibility for this. And, you know, ladies, it's like, it's just really sad to me seeing black women co-signing Snoop Dogg. And it really, see, and that's who's too far gone. You black women who are co-signing Snoop Dogg, you know, with what he said about Gayle, those are the women who's too far gone. And it's to the point to where, I mean, it's not just men like Snoop Dogg, all these colorist rappers, all these colorist men, we support them. And as long as we support them, nothing is ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to change, black women. So if you're going to continue to make excuses and continue to support them, then stop complaining about how they act. Stop talking about how they ain't shit if you're just going to, you know, defend everything that they do and you're going to co-sign their mess and co-sign their abuse. Then don't complain. Don't complain about it if you're going to co-sign it. But for the black men, you know, if you want black women to do better and stop supporting, you know, the Snoop Dogs and the rogue males in the black community, then I shouldn't be hearing any pushback whatsoever from you. Especially, you know, these so-called good black men. You know, I shouldn't be hearing any pushback from you, you know, when it comes to black women coming at Snoop and men like him. Let us help take out the trash. And see, this is what they should be doing, right? They should be taking out the trash. But again, they're not trying to be men, so they feel like that's not their responsibility. So fine. Black women are being affected by a lot of this stuff. So, and there are elements of it that we can control. So let's control what we can control and help take out the trash to save ourselves, you know. And black men, if you're mad at that, if you're really mad about that, then it shouldn't surprise you why black women don't see you as one of the good guys. You know, again, black men, if you're not like Snoop, you shouldn't be offended. And you would think that since these men want us to, you know, want us to separate them from the thugs like Snoop and the street dudes like Snoop, you would think that they wouldn't take up for them in any capacity. This is why you can't take them seriously when they ask you to compartmentalize. Ladies, when they ask you to compartmentalize black men, you can't take them seriously. They don't compartmentalize black men. Only if it fits their narrative. Only if it fits their narrative. But when it comes to black men looking bad in front of white people, looking bad in the media, whatever, they will cape for those very same criminals. And I understand. I know it's hard to do, but you can't do that. If you really want to be separated from the bad guys, you can't do that. You got to let white supremacy handle them. Let them take out the trash. If you don't want to be lumped in with these men, let them do it. Don't defend them. Rickey Smiley isn't a thug, from what I know, you know. But he had Snoop's back, and he over here threatening him with old white women. Like, what is going on? What is going on? Seriously? And I keep hearing black women and black men say, oh, well, what about your sons? What about the black men in your life that you love? What about them? Listen, I don't have a son. But what is wrong with compartmentalizing black men? Snoop Dogg is not my brother. He's not my man. And I don't have to defend or protect any man I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Same goes for Kobe. Snoop Dogg and plenty of these other black male entertainers and celebrities, they have dark-skinned daughters. Yet they're colorists. They're promoting themselves with non-black women. You know, they're talking about how they don't mess with nothing but red bones. And they got a chocolate little girl at home. And I don't hear black men asking, oh, well, what about your black daughters, man? Why do you do that? You have black daughters. You have dark-skinned daughters. Nobody questions them. So if they can compartmentalize and say, oh, well, this woman's not my daughter. I'm taking care of my daughter, so she's all that matters. But I can date who I want. I can promote who I want. So if they can compartmentalize, so can we. Yeah, that means we can date who we want and still promote dark-skinned women. You see how that works? That's what black men do. We can date who we want. We can have biracial children. Yes, we can. If we want, we can have a biracial daughter if we want. And guess what? Hashtag DDS. I'm still going to promote dark-skinned women. I'm not promoting biracial women. You see how that works? Black women, you need to take notes from black men. You really, really do. It ain't about your sons, sweetie. It's not about the men in your life, the men that you love. It's not about them. If they're not men that I love and I care about and the men that do something for me, they don't get my support. That's it and that's all. And black women don't owe black men a code that they don't even follow. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay? And it looks really bad that Snoop can sit on video and say, you know, respect Vanessa and Kobe's family. Respect them, respect the family. But he has never publicly defended his dark-skinned daughter who has issues with colorism, who has very publicly talked about her issues with colorism. And again, I'm not mad at Snoop Dogg for defending Kobe, you know, defending his legacy, whatever. That's what black men are going to do. But at least you could do the same thing. You could at least come out publicly to defend your daughter as well. At least. It's just a really bad look. It really is. And again, most people on YouTube aren't telling you this. That's why I'm making these videos. That's why I had to come out of silence, because the narrative that black people, these pro-wax and these hoteps are pushing right now is ridiculous and it's full of lies. So I had to come here and do what I do. Call me bitter, say I'm too far gone, call me extreme. It is what it is. This narrative that I'm putting out here needs to be out here to balance the scales a little bit. And I don't care. Okay? So I hope you really listen to what I said here, black women, and move accordingly going forward. Stay silent, stay on code. I'm done here. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.